And we kick it off with the hot topic of the hour. More than 250 suspected illegal gang members arrived in El Salvador's mega prison last night after the Trump administration invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to quickly deport them out of America. But a federal judge is blocking Trump's use of that act, ordering the flights to return to America. However, the White House says the planes were already en route when the ruling came down. The president explaining his decision. Watch.
These were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres. Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. That's an invasion.
The White House says the administration did not refuse to comply with a court order. It was issued after terrorist Tren de Aragua aliens had already been removed from U.S. territory. A single judge in a single city cannot direct the movements of an aircraft carrier full of foreign alien terrorists who were physically expelled from U.S. soil. Trump also thanked El Salvador and its president for accepting the prisoners. They made an agreement in February that El Salvador would accept deportees of any nationality for a small fee. Really interesting developments here. Liz Peek, your reaction.
Well, first of all, Maria, this is just the latest incident of an activist judge confronting this administration. I think they've decided, these judges, that they're part of the resistance. And I'm really glad in this instance that the president went ahead and sanctioned this deportation of the worst criminals to El Salvador. And kudos to Marco Rubio, by the way, for arranging this agreement with El Salvador, a country, by the way, where the leader is experiencing record high approval ratings because he is cracking down on exactly these people, these gangs that have run roughshod over El Salvador for years and also now American communities. So I don't think many Americans are going to be particularly alarmed that this has come to a confrontation between the courts and President Trump. I think they'll be delighted to get rid of these horrific gang members.
I mean, the pictures are incredible. And let me just remind everybody that this is the same judge, Judge Boasberg, who sat as the presiding judge on the FISA court. The same Judge Boasberg who gave FBI lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith a slap on the wrist after he manufactured evidence used in the Carter Page FISA application that defrauded the FISA court. So, yes, you're right. It's an activist judge. This is all about resisting President Trump. But to think that you're going to resist President Trump over getting these Tren de Aragua aliens illegally in America, and you're actually going to tell the administration to get those planes to reverse course in the air to bring them back to America, Cheryl. Extraordinary.
And Caroline Leavitt made that point exactly, that judge had no jurisdiction. The federal courts don't have the jurisdiction. And, you know, just to kind of pick up on what Liz was saying, I mean, some of these migrants, their crimes, Maria, let's just remind everybody of these alleged crimes. Kidnapping, sexual abuse of a child, aggravated assault, prostitution, robbery, aggravated assault of a police officer. Those are just some of the crimes in this group of individuals that were sent out of our country. So if someone does not want to see law and order upheld in this nation, then what exactly are your values? Remember, the Biden administration, all they wanted to do was keep them here and give them free credit cards and a lovely hotel room and some nice food.
Yeah.